Hey everyone, what you're looking at here was my first ever Gundam. And I am still, well, it wasn't that long ago that I built this thing, and I am still 100% an uber Gundam noob. I know almost nothing about the series, although I've been catching up on Gundam related media for the past handful of months, starting with the original series, covering a bunch of Universal Century stuff, and I've more recently watched the original Wing series and gotten into 00 now. But I'm just a super noob. I honestly don't plan to become a super Gundam fan or Gunpla fan. It's just something that seems really cool. Have a little something that's kind of up my alley in terms of sci-fi, and also connection back to late 70s, early 80s, and also mecha, and also putting plastic things together to make bigger things. And it's kind of nice to have a little side hobby. So I got this from Target, actually. Target store, a regular Target store in the US for $6. It was $6. Or was it $6.99? I think it might have been on sale for $6, and the usual price was $6.99, something like that. Ridiculously cheap price for my first ever Gundam. I had no idea what I was getting into. I had just learned from a viewer during a live stream, who had told me that indeed these things don't require any paint and don't require any glue. I didn't know that. I had built one sprue kit, literally sprue kit, sub-brand Bandai Halo Spartan back in 2014. That was my only experience with the stuff, and I thought that was intended to be lower than what here is considered to be entry grade, and that was the reason that one did not require any painting or gluing. But I was really surprised to find out that even much of the higher end stuff in the Gunpla world doesn't require any. So hey, that day I learned, and very shortly thereafter I went out and got this. I specifically wanted to start from the bottom. I wanted to start with entry grade. I wanted to start with the cheapest stuff, the simplest stuff, and then work my way up a little bit in order to have that experience. And I'm glad that I did, because gosh, for something that costs $6, this is amazing. Let's say $7 originally with the double. And again, I'm a uber noob, and I'm forever going to be an uber noob. I will never know the proper name for every type of joint and everything. I will never know the proper name for every specific weapon in here. I'm just having fun with this. I'm just having fun with this little thing as a side hobby, and you'll see definitely more of these from me in the future, as I have more already on order, and I have another one already built as of the time of the recording of this video. No more entry grades for me, that's for certain. But I mean, there's a lot going on here for something that costs $6. It took me how long to put this together? I want to say about an hour and a half. I think I did it on stream as well, so it was a little bit slower. But I mean, the amount of articulation in this thing is pretty dang impressive. For somebody coming from the outside who didn't know what he was getting into, I'm just shocked. I'm super impressed by what all can be done here with the little flaps. The amount of detail also for a low end kit. Little flaps that can kind of get out of their way. These are on ball joints. The different types of plastics that are used throughout the build in order to get the proper amounts of friction throughout this. A little bit of motion there, turning there, up and down, within reason. Each different color that you see, if you are completely unfamiliar with this stuff, as I was not too long ago, each color that you see is a different plastic, a different piece that went together. And these things simply snap or press fit. Most of them press fit together. Look at the shoulders. Look, you got the rotation in here, also the ability to go up and down, and you can also shimmy it or shift it up and down, because again, double joints in there plus the ability to rotate. I guess it's triple. Even a nice amount of detail up in the face space as well. So I guess I will speak to specifically folks who are completely new to this, again, as I was recently, and I'll show you what this looks like on the inside. They give you a little preview here of what you're going to be getting yourself into, but it's all just sprue kits. So the most interesting thing to me was seeing that in some cases they'll multi-mold on a single sprue. I had never seen that done before personally. Again, uber-n00b, multiple colors onto the same sprue. So this is the A3 section over here. This is the A4 section over here. It's pretty clear. And then each of the parts has its own individual number. So as you go through the instructions, they will point you towards a specific area to look at and then give you a specific number on top of that. And so yeah, you just pull the pieces off, and the instructions, sorry about the crazy focus there, but I'm just being casual about this. The instructions are pretty straightforward. This one was specifically designed for the US, so or for sale in the US, so you have a bunch of English instruction there, but you don't really need the instructions, to be honest. Maybe some of the caution stuff, but I did use nippers. You don't need to use nippers, a specialized tool for just, cutting pieces off in general. You can literally just snap the parts off of the sprues the way that this in particular is designed, the easy or entry grade is designed. And it's really straightforward. The instructions, not in color, most of them, but they don't need to be, especially for something with as few pieces as this had. But it was a nice building experience. It was very enjoyable, very fulfilling. And at the end of it, hey, they let you know that high grade is like the next level up, and that's exactly what I got next. This is it. This is really good stuff here. Just the entry, the introduction to it. This is the stuff that I didn't know about. That is the stuff that I didn't know about. Very, very cool. So the very next one that I got was essentially the same thing, but in high grade. So I will cover that in a separate video, which just allowed me to understand what the difference is in construction techniques and difficulty of assembly. It wasn't that big of a difference, but the high grade looks a little bit better, but I got the exact same RX-78-2, no special variation, because that's the design of the original Gundam from, or at least the first one that showed up in an OVA, an actual anime show, which was the first Gundam media that I exposed myself to. But this is really, really cool stuff and an amazing deal. I come from a background most recently especially, of Lego, and you cannot get something like this. You cannot get something equivalent to this for $6. You'd probably have to pay like $20, and you're not going to get that level of detail. It would have to be, in Lego, it would have to be scaled up in order to get anything close to this amount of articulation, and it would be at least $20, maybe 30, could be even 40 in order to get similar levels of articulation, but it'd be much larger. This size, if Lego was capable of getting this kind of articulation at this size, it definitely would have cost at least 2 to 3 times as much. But I'm very impressed with this. It got me hooked, and I'll be showing you my high grade version of this soon, and then I'm going to be moving into an intermediate no grade 1/100th scale that I got to start getting myself into larger size, which is what I really want to focus on a little bit more. And I'll be going bigger than that as well. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Maybe you're a complete noob as well, in which case that would be perfect. I forgot to show you that there are different ways to hook up the shield as well to get into more interesting poses, but maybe I'll do some more posing with the different weapon options that are included also with the high grade in the next video about that. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon.